what's up, guys? This is Wendy, and I'm the newest member of the Freestyle Club.
Warning. The Freestyle Club contains adult language. It is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. This is Freestyle Club with your hosts, the unknown admin, Rafael Reyes, and CPR Jose Ortiz.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to this week's edition of the Freestyle Club. I'm truly excited about this one, but joining me, we got the unknown admin, Rafael Reyes.
What's good, you bastards?
And joining us this week, one of my favorite artists of all time. We go back 20 years. Wendy, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you? And thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, I got to ask that important question. Are you ready?
Yes.
How does it feel to tape breasts?
I completely forgot about that.
So we go back to the first Artistik record release party, and Wendy is there to perform, and instead of her performing, she's stuck in a bathroom with a recording artist taping her breasts that she had just recently done with duct tape because the nipples were pointing in the opposite direction. Remember that?
Oh my God.
I don't remember all the details, but I do remember the tape.
How do you...
Oh, Zay remembers a lot of the details. Well, you were there?
I was there, yes. I was the host.
Oh, my God. Wait, is that the same day that I busted my ass at your mom's house?
No, that's a different day. That was a second story that we were going to talk about. So we were going to the final goodbye for the group Vocal Image at a bar that smelled like piss. Remember that?
Dimly lit, lots of smoke. Yes, I remember.
It was a smelly, pissy bar that smelled like piss and shit, and that was the last night of Vocal Image performing as a group. And they had this like bodega window as they passed by.
I remember. Yes, I remember that.
Not only that, they had like a old rug, you know what I mean, with cat litter on top of it. You know, so, what a classy place. And so before we got to the show, we were leaving my house, and Wendy had these 3 steps to go down, and she she did the Undertaker tombstone pile driver on herself, and and she landed knees first.
It was horrible. Your mom was the best. Your mom fixed me up, and
I loved your reaction. I love the cursing because if you may not know, Freestyle Club, Wendy is the best cursor in the world.
Oh my God. That sounds horrible. It's the Italian in me.
She could throw the F-bomb like no other, you know. And hopefully we'll be blessed with a couple of F-bombs during the show.
What the fuck? No.
There we go.
This is the Freestyle Club.
She's here.
Yes, I'm back.
You are back, and I'm so proud to have you back in 2018. You got a brand new song, and
yes,
it's with the Santana Twins, and it's called If I Tell You.
If I tell you that you wanted me to stay, if I tell you we'll make it through the day, if I tell you would you promise me the world, if I tell you, if I show you.
How did you connect with the Santana Twins?
Actually, I reached out to them at the beginning of the year. I've been really tied up with my son's career, so I kind of put myself on the back burner, and I was just dying to do another song. So I had heard, I think it was Nick Cologne's stuff that I heard, and I saw that the Twins had produced for him, so I reached out to them because I had never met them before, and I said, hey, I haven't done a song in a while. I was interested in doing one. Would you guys want to work with me? And they were completely about it. And I went to New York. I met with them, and it was just a really awesome experience. This is the first song that I recorded that I didn't write. So they had actually sent me, the song and said, what do you think of it? And I fell in love with it. So that's how I linked up with them.
Who wrote the song?
They wrote the song.
Santana Twins can write?
Yeah.
That sounded kind of bad.
Oh, Lord.
It's like they're sitting there with two rocks.
Rock and a chisel.
Oh my God, I'm staying neutral. I'm staying neutral right now.
Me, you, Planet Rock Beat. No.
Let me tell you something. I know it's all in good fun, and you guys are, everybody knows everybody. They were really, really great to work with. Like, all joking aside, they were really great to work with, and very professional, and just a really good combination of minds and creativity working together, and so much laughter. We had to stop a lot. I mean, once I get going, I can't stop laughing.
And I've known you all these years, man. That's one of the coolest laughs I've ever heard. Unique.
Thank you.
Now, how do you feel about having your own song written by someone else and everyone's playing it?
It's a good feeling, but it's different because I think when you sing a song that somebody else wrote, you kind of have to, put yourself in somebody else's shoes and try to put yourself in that storyline so you can feel what you're singing. And so that was a little different for me because not that I always write from experience, but I think when you write from your point of view of certain situations, you're going to feel what you sing. So with singing something that somebody else wrote, for me in particular, has been a little bit different, but it was a great experience. I would definitely, record a song again that somebody else wrote without a problem. But it just was different. It was just different, but good in the end.
Do you want to finally have that Wendy album?
I think I do. And there's some things in the works that I can't really say, but what I will say is that this won't be the only new song that you hear from me.
The more that we get from you, the less I have to play of other people that are not as talented.
Oh my God.
It's great because if ever there was an artist that was long overdue for an album, I think Wendy would be in the top 2.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm just looking at your catalog. I'm like, I remember that song, but it's all, on that compilation. It's on the B-side of a vinyl. I'm like, why don't she have her own shit? You know what I'm saying? It's long overdue.
You know what it was? I think, a big part of me doing the music, like back in the day, like I wasn't under management. I wasn't under a booking agency. Like the shows that I did, either, Willie got them for me or people booked through me. And I think, my career would have went a lot further had I been, more on top of it and pursued it more to find the right people to work with. And unfortunately I didn't do that. And then, it kind of died down a little. Well, where I live, freestyle kind of died down a little bit. So for me, like when I listen to your station and stuff like that, like I hear stuff that I've never even heard before. I'm thinking like, who the hell is this? And what the hell is that song? And it's all like new stuff. And I'm thinking like, I don't even know these people. And then I'm thinking like, wait a minute, am I just old? You know what I mean? So it's crazy. But I mean, I really think that, had things been different back in the day, I definitely think I would have had an album. I definitely would have done more music, but things happen for a reason, and timing is everything. And I think that now that my son is situated and he's established, now I have time to focus on me and do more music.
I definitely understand because, being a single father myself, sometimes you have to push your own aspirations and your own dreams aside to make sure that they get a great start in life. So I can definitely understand that.
Big kudos to both of you as I stand here listening to you both, and I think about the accomplishments that both of you have. Raphael just finished paying for his son's college. Like, he paid it cash, you know what I mean? And that's something to be really, really proud of. And you, Wendy Scanlon, Braha.
I can't believe you remember that after all these years. That is so crazy.
I remember your Jewish name, woman.
Oh my God, that is so funny. So if Raphael, if you don't know, if anybody doesn't know, my mom is Jewish and Italian. So I was forced to go to Hebrew school when I was a teenager. And like when you go to Hebrew school, they give you a Hebrew name. Yeah. And the fact that you remembered that, and I think I even wrote in Hebrew for you the one time. Do you remember?
I do remember. I still have it.
No way.
Yes.
I'm from Brooklyn, so I know all about the Jews.
Hey, listen, there are people that come into your life that you never forget. I keep a lot of the memories that we had and we shared 20 years ago very deep inside me, and I keep little trinkets and memorabilia. And
I'm the same way.
The
same way.
But what I wanted to say is that I got to compliment Raphael for being the father that he is and taking care of business. You know, I know he doesn't deserve a parade or anything like that because he's the type of man.
Why not, dude?
Wait, hold on a second. No. He's the type of man that says, this is my responsibility and this is what I got to do. And so
Right.
the same thing with you. You know, you came to New England, you became pregnant, and then you became mommy mode, and
Yeah.
you became mommy Wendy. And so you did put your career on the side, and you raised a great son. You have a beautiful daughter, and you know, you've been the
Yeah.
single parent, really doing great things. And your son is a superstar now in the field of EDM, and Slushii is just killing it right now.
It's insane. It's like it's so surreal and so like it's one of those things that there's absolutely nothing that you could ever do in your life to prepare you for the level of fame that any not just your child but anyone that's close to you, related to you. And you know, it's just I sacrificed so much for my kids, for both of my kids. And you know, and the best feeling in the world is when your kids are old enough to sit down and have a heart to heart with you and say, you know what, I love you so much, and thank you so much for always supporting me, and thank you for sacrificing, and thank you for not doing this so I could do this. And you know, when you're starting out doing what he does, it's very expensive. It's very, I mean, you know how CDJs, when you're a single parent and you know you have bills to pay, you know, tossing out those kind of thousands is not really, you know, your top priority, but it becomes your top priority, and you make it work. And you know, we were talking. He calls me all the time and we talk, and I love the fact that even though he lives in Hollywood and he's not living at home, you know, he's just so appreciative, and he tells me all the time, like, I love you so much, and thank you so much for everything that you do for me. And you know, I celebrate Mother's Day, I celebrate Father's Day, and I know a lot of people talk shit and say, oh, you know, it's not for the mothers. But you know what? When my son tells me Happy Father's Day, Mom, I'll take it. I'll take it all day. And you know, it's really amazing to see the man that he's become and grown into, and he's just so humble and hasn't changed at all. And he works with some of the biggest names in the business, and it hasn't changed him at all. And, you know, when you meet people in the business and they're like, oh, you're Slushii's mom. Oh, your son is awesome. Or he's so humble. And it's, you know, you have to pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, everything that I sacrificed was absolutely worth it.
I love the story of Slushii, the demos that you would send me. Hey, what do you think? I remember telling you, this kid's going to be a star. And man, it didn't take long, because I said that, and I think a year later he was just doing so many amazing pieces of work that he just blew up. But for me, when I saw the picture with him on stage in front of thousands and thousands of people, and he's just
50,000 people.
Yeah, it's just like
That was crazy. I saw that picture.
because recently he was attacked, and the way he handled that, he schooled an old school EDM artist on how to treat people, and I was very, very proud of him in the way that he handled himself.
Me too. And you know what? I'll tell you what, that actually ended up on Billboard.com, and I was like floored. And you know what? When I saw how many of Deadmau5's fans were saying to Deadmau5, like, yo, that's not cool. Like, you know, we like your music, but that, like, you went too far with it. And he handled it like a gentleman. But what I wanted to tell you was that picture that you saw with us on stage, and that was in California when I went out there. It was like that moment was like one of like the most unbelievable mommy moments of my life, because when I go, I don't stand in the crowd because it's just a little too wild for me. So I like stand side stage and I watch the show, and you know, there's just so many people, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Mom, come here," and I'm thinking like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna just pretend like I didn't hear that because there's too many people." And he's like, "Hey guys," he's like, "I brought my mom here." He's like, "Say hi to Mama Slush." And then I wake up the next day, and my Instagram is like flooded with followers. I'm like, "This is great." That's when it really like sinks in, and you're just like, "Holy shit, this is crazy."
You have some young kids like, "Yo, Mama Slush, what's up?" Yo, hitting you. They be sliding into your DMs.
Oh my God, it's crazy. I have people that message me, because I don't add his fans on my Facebook. I let them go on my Instagram because I have pictures of him when he was a baby, and like they love that kind of stuff. But I have people that'll message me like, thank you so much for giving birth to such an amazing human being. I'm thinking like, no, nobody ever thanked me for giving birth. Not like who does that? And it's just really nice. And then when I see people that, people that message me from different countries and they're like, oh, I love him so much. He's such a great person. I met him. He's so nice. I'm just like, that is awesome. And he tells me all the time, like, he's like, I have the same heart that you have. And I'm like, I know you do. Because, he's just a really genuinely caring, good-hearted kid. I mean, this is a kid that, like 2 months ago, the principal of his high school that he graduated from texted him just to say, hey, we just wanted to let you know that we're all following your career and we're so proud of you. And he actually just went and spoke at his old high school on Columbus Day. The teachers had like an in-service, and they brought him out, and it was amazing.
Subscribe to the Freestyle Club podcast, theunknownadmin.com, and cprsmusic.com.
Now let's go back to the origins. How did you connect with Artistik Recordings? Because the first time that I met you was through Artistik, and when you were going to be featured on Freestyle Parade Volume 1.
Right before I met Willie, I was into freestyle heavy. Like, I loved freestyle, and he was doing a show. I forget, it was some club. I think it was in Philly or Jersey, and I was in the ladies' room and I was singing, because that's just my thing. I sing all the time, and the acoustics are great. So somebody ran and grabbed him and said, you have to hear this girl sing. So he comes into the ladies' room, and that's pretty much where my first pre-audition for Artistik was.
In the ladies' room?
I sang to him in the ladies' room.
When you sang to him in the ladies' room, what did he say?
He was like, I think that he was pretty surprised, and that's when we switched information, and then I went and I auditioned for the label up in New York, and I was the first female signed to Artistik, so that's awesome, and it was great. It was such a great time. Like, I used to be in the studio for hours with him. Like, I love the whole technical part of production, because I don't know how to do it. So to watch somebody else be creative in what they do is just so interesting to me that I was like a studio rat. I would just hang out and watch, and it was amazing.
I know you wanna show me what you can't explain. No words to say, but she's still by your side. I wonder if she left you, would you be afraid to come my way, knowing she's not around? I know you wanna show me what you can't explain. No words to say, but she's still by your side.
I fell in love when I heard I Know. And I know you know this, right? Because I was on the radio at 103.5, and when I heard you were my main focus. I needed to play your song every hour on the hour. I needed to promote you. I needed people to hear you. And I just needed to know who you were, and when I got to meet you for the first time, I was so happy about the fact that we hit it off immediately, and
Absolutely,
and we were able to just hit it off and have a great time with everything. And once I got your song, man, it was over and done with, because all I did was play that song. And I'm so glad that Willie Valentine thought of me when he came up with the extended version. When you hear the break for I Know, the extended version, that version is dedicated to me, because I love that song so much, and I love that break so much that they extended it for me on the vinyl.
that's awesome. That's so awesome.
I know it sounds like this is about me, but I'm not trying to be conceited.
No, you're good.
I'm actually giving factual information. I'm not making things up. Do you even have a copy of your vinyl still?
I do. It's hanging on my wall in my living room.
Oh, nice.
My kids used to always joke and be like, "What are you going to play that on? We don't have a record player." I'm like, it's in a frame for a reason.
It's rare because we talk to so many artists and they don't even have a copy of their own vinyl, and it's kind of sad.
I only have I Want You Back. I don't even have I Know. I don't even have it. And I have I Want You Back because a fan, back when, remember the freestyle message boards? And I feel like a dipshit for not remembering, but I had said something and they were like, "Oh, I have a copy. I'll send it to you." I was like, yes. So that's how I have a copy of I Want You Back.
So you don't even have a I Know or Pray for Love?
Oh, I have Pray for the Love.
You don't sound happy about that one.
Nah, I mean, like, again, another great recording experience, but not a fan of the song at all.
I have a test press, a vinyl of I Know, so I may have to send you one.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome.
People have asked me to sell them my copies of the Artistik catalog, and I humbly declined. That's just my catalog. That's the beginning of my DJ career because it was Artistik who pushed me to be a better on-air personality, and it was artists like you who pushed me to want to continue to do this music because of the quality of voice and product that was released at that time. Probably one of the reasons why people still hate me to this day, because people say, "Oh, CPR is all about Artistik." I'm like, no, I'm all about quality, and if you have the same quality, then I'll be about you too. But at that time, you know this for a fact because you were in New England for like 20 minutes, right? You remember all the garbage that people were peddling from here, right?
I don't want to say it was garbage. I would say a lot of it wasn't my
trash.
You could say it. You could
wasn't
say
my
it.
type of stuff to listen to. No, everybody is creative in their own way, and when they put stuff out, they like it, But I can say honestly, I mean, there's been stuff that I've done that I'm like, oh my God, like that song actually came out, just stuff that if I could do it over again, I would get people's opinions that weren't related to me that are going to tell me what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Because I just pray for the love.
I knew it. But that wasn't freestyle, was it? That was more house.
No, that was more like house, I guess.
That was her rebellious years. That was, I didn't get my fucking album, so I'm going to go do this now. Shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And we see where that got me. Nowhere.
You put bad energy out, you get bad energy back, right?
Oh my God.
There was a lot of frustration back then because people didn't know the inner workings of a record label. I didn't know. You didn't know. Angel Mena didn't know because we had conversations. I almost died in his fucking Chevy Chevelle because he was pissed off about not.
Oh my God!
You remember that little troll car that he had and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and so we were sitting there, and in short terms, we almost got into like 4 or 5 crashes because my boy Angel Ben is very passionate. But back then, we were just kids that didn't know anything about the business. I thought I was gonna be a superstar DJ, and it all turned out to be true. I'm just kidding. We all thought we were gonna make millions. We all thought we were gonna be like these Grammy award-winning,
We did, and we really believed that. We did, and I look back to the beginnings of everything, and even though you don't sing, you were so much a part of Artistik, as much as we were. You know what I mean? Like you were just as big of an influence and a part of the beginning that we all were.
And I'm honored. I really am, because that's all I ever wanted for our music was for people to pick up that same type of quality, the same type of artist. Nobody can fuck or mess with the Artistik Recordings roster. I'm sorry. It didn't happen back then. It can't happen now. You have Wendy, you have Marisol, Rosemary Lopez, who was there for a cup of coffee, to Cynthia Figueroa, Janine Garcia.
I love Cynthia. That, oh my God. Let me tell you something. I'm going to pause you real quick. I am so picky when it comes to artists, and she's one of my top 3 favorite of all time female freestyle singers. I love her. And Marisol.
The Princess of Style, Cynthia Figueroa, is my nickname for her, and the greatest voice to ever come out of New England, Marisol, is my moniker for her. On Freestyle Parade Volume Number 2, The Art of Dance, the greatest freestyle compilation of all time when it comes to freestyle, you were part of that compilation and you recorded a song called I Want You Back. Now, how was it different recording I Want You Back from I Know?
I don't know that it was too much, that it was too different than the first recording. It was just, the hype of and all the excitement from, finally doing what I wanted to do. I was just in go mode. So, there really wasn't a difference with recording except for maybe like more excitement.
Now, did you have a nice load of confidence after getting positive reviews across the board for I Know, and then now here comes your second single? And did you feel that pressure of trying to top it?
Absolutely. I mean, getting the feedback was awesome because, growing up, I would go do like open mic nights or do karaoke or whatever, and people would always say, "Oh, you have a really good voice," and to hear freestyle fans that listen to the same stuff that I listen to have such great feedback was amazing. So yeah, I think there was a little bit of pressure to do a follow-up song that was going to be received as well as the first one, and luckily it was. But yeah, so there was a little bit of pressure, but I think everything came out really well in the end.
My favorite part about I Want You Back is the fact that every time you performed it, you signaled sweet chin music, like Shawn Michaels, like you were going to go for a super kick. Because every time that you hit that part where you hit the high note, you will smack the shit out of your leg. And so I'm like, is she going for a super kick? All I know is that at that time, your significant other, every time you sang that song and you smacked your leg, he would duck because he thought you were going to kick him.
He'd seen that move before and he knew what was coming.
Yeah, went
for sweet chin music again. He got it! Michael's got it! That's it!
And it's so funny because you say that, and I can picture I would slap my thigh hard as hell and put my arm up like, yes, here it comes.
Yeah. I love that. I still remember vividly. I got video I got to put up of some of your performances.
Yes. That would be awesome. And the funny thing is, I still do the same move.
That's
after
good.
All these years.
That's a Wendy trademark. She's going for sweet chin music.
It's my signature move.
Absolutely. Now, why did you walk away from Artistik? What was it about, that situation that it made you walk away?
I don't think it's that I walked away. I think it just, life gets complicated. When you're a parent and, freestyle was never my full-time job. It was my passion, and I don't want to say it was a hobby, but it was like my really exciting, fun part-time job. And, again, you have kids and, your priorities change. And, and at that point, I think I was living in Jersey and, Willie's in New York. And, I just kind of got wrapped up in soccer practice and dance class and this and that. And, that takes precedence over everything. So, I think that's really how we kind of parted ways. It was never on bad terms. Like I love them dearly, Willie and Cynthia, and I have, we're still friends, all of us. It's just, people take different paths in life, and I switched careers. I was in the IT field, and then I went into I work in a salon now, so I went back to school for cosmetology, and that was my life for quite some time, and that was pretty much how it happened.
What was your biggest frustration with our music?
With freestyle?
Freestyle music in general, yeah. What was your
with
biggest frustration?
polka?
Why don't you drop this list? Let me get this list here. I've been compiling a list since 1997. Let me just tell you right now. Item number 1.
I think my biggest frustration, I think even now, and this isn't meant to, make anybody feel bad or whatever, but I just don't think, just like I would never attempt to do heart surgery on somebody because I'm not a skilled doctor, some people should not be singing, point blank. And, I always say, like, if this person went on the Voice, or if they went on America's Got Talent, they would get booed off in a second because they can't sing. And then I look at the other aspect of it, where I've talked to people and they'd be like, oh, do you like this this song? And I'm like, not really. And they're like, what don't you like about it? The beat is great. I'm like, yeah, the beat is great, but the vocals are shit. You know what I'm saying? So my frustration was, people playing all this new stuff. And I'm thinking like, my God, like who's telling them that this is the right career for them? You know what I'm saying? I get
social
it.
Media is now. I think that everybody records a song with their Casio keyboard and they put it up on Facebook and they get one like or a bendito spin. People are like, oh my God, it's great. Everything in freestyle is great. Have you heard all those songs with the Planet Rock beat?
Oh my God, yes.
Every week there's 2 or 3 that are released. I just heard 2 new ones that just got released. And
know what cracks me up? This is what cracks me up. We're how many years past the beginning of freestyle, and I hear songs now that are supposedly new songs that are just coming out, and I'm thinking like, this shit wouldn't have been hot 20 years ago. Like it sounds dated, like it was made 20 years ago, but it just came out 20 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying?
What happened was, Wendy, is that talented artists like you became employed, had children, and left the business, and all the fillers. All the people that were filling out those crappy compilations that Hot Productions put out, those became those became the main artists. So those are the people releasing stuff now because they took the spots of the people that went to do other interesting things with their lives. So they felt like now is my chance to crawl up to the top and take this place and people to see me the same way that they saw Wendy at one time. And of course it doesn't work, but social media now allows them to be out there in the ether and people be like, you're just as good, you're just as great. These are all filler artists that would have never seen the light of day or gotten a spin.
And it's a shame because you know what? Like I hate to make somebody feel like shit for loving what they do.
I don't.
I just... But my whole thing now, especially in the position that I'm in with my son, and I see how people are just for no reason. You know what I'm saying? People, it doesn't make a difference how good of a person you are or anything like that. Some people just have no life and nothing better to do with themselves and their free time than just to be negative. And that's why, a lot of times I hear a lot. Trust me, anything that's been said on a freestyle show about anybody, myself included, I've heard. But, to react to it, I think is just so it takes too much energy to react to negativity. And that's why, I have stayed out of, everybody's, the public eye for a long time with music or anything else other than just my personal life, just, bullshit stuff on Facebook, because, it's out of hand and it's out of control. And, I'm 42 years old. Like the last thing that I want to do is be gossiping or arguing with somebody over something that is completely irrelevant to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that, when I speak to people and I want to speak to them about their talent and their music, they take it personal to the point where they want to get personal. Because I don't attack their family. I don't attack them personally. I just attack their lack of talent and their bad music. But then they take it personal, and then they want to go on social media and start talking about private things that have nothing to do with the fact that they don't have any talent, and even the talented people get into that groove because they got nothing better else to do, and it is an unfortunate thing because we should be celebrating each other more as we used to do, 20 years ago. If somebody got played on the radio, we would be happy. Remember, we will all travel in groups. You would come here, you would come here and you would be with Lorenzo Delon, Willie Valentine, the whole New York crew. You would just be, just going to these shows and trying to prove yourselves and singing your asses off.
And it was fun. It was like a family vacation every single time. Like it was just, everybody was cool. And if there was a little bit of bad blood between people, like, 9 times out of 10, things didn't get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? And we just enjoyed life and we lived and we had fun. And that's why I have so many amazing memories. I have, just like you, I have scrapbooks with old flyers and pictures and just so many things that I can look back on and say, that was a really great time in my life. And I'm really glad that I got that experience and that it happened. You know what I mean? Even the negative stuff. I mean, I'm at a point in my life where, people that I was in contact with. I'm not going to name names. I think that everybody comes into your life for a reason, and everybody has a purpose in your life, either in it or out of it. And, you know, life is one big learning experience, and I'm at a place in my life where I am so at peace with my life and everything in it that, you know, if more people would let negativity just roll off the shoulder and say, you know what, it is what it is, you know, I'm not going to feed into it, it'd be a lot better. And that rolls into all the bad music too, because there has to come up to a point in time where people just get real and say, you know what, let's just sit down and talk for a second. You know, you're a great person. You have a lovely personality, you know, whatever, but maybe this isn't what you should be doing, because at the end of the day, you either have people that are loving the music for the beat aspect of it, and then they're talking shit about them behind their back. And I'll tell you what, I'll be the first one to say this. I've talked shit about plenty of people. It's, you know, it's
no, not you, Wendy.
I have. And you know what? Is it something that I'm proud of? Absolutely not. Have I said things, you know, in public that were private that should have remained private? Absolutely. And I'm a woman enough to admit that. You know, there's a couple artists that I do not get along with, and for no particular reason. I just don't. And I've said things that have probably hurt people and everything like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, all you can do is learn from your experiences and better yourself. And if you learn from your experiences, it's never anything to regret. And that's what I've learned in my years of being alive.
Honestly, from my perspective, I'll say that, you know, no matter what it is, if it's a DJ, if it's an artist, if it's a producer, you're going to have those that are good and are talented, and you're going to have those that are trying it out as a hobby or trying to fulfill a dream that really don't belong there. But you know what? It's up to the fans to decide who makes it in the genre. You know,
yeah,
it's the fans who decide which DJ they're going to get behind, which artist they're going to get behind, what album they're going to buy. And to me, it's like I get a seizure in my head trying to make sense of how is it that you have like a Carlos Berrios, that double CD compilation, or Pompeo's compilation that didn't do as well as they should have, and then you have other compilations that people just can't shut the fuck up about, you know, that don't deserve not even a thought, you know? How are they reaching into their wallets for this?
It's the irrelevant filler artists from back in the day who got these people to believe that they were better than they really are, and those are the people that are supporting these artists now. If you had a song on a compilation and you were a filler artist back in 1997, people are now celebrating you in 2018 as if you were the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? There's an artist right now that looks like V for Vendetta. So because that guy was in a group 23 years ago that was a subpar group of a subpar group that was a filler in an album, they're being celebrated now in 2018 as if they're like the next coming.
We spoke in episode 1 with Angel Mena, and I said, listen, freestyle has had its droughts, its moments of droughts where you can go a couple years and you're lucky if you got enough songs to fill, you know, an EP, right? Maybe 2 or 3 songs in those 5 years. And I can understand why radio stations and DJs and fans will get excited at whatever comes out. You know, something is better than nothing attitude, right? You have to have that when there's nothing out there. But this year, we've had so many songs, so many good songs.
Yeah.
And people still gravitate to, you know, I can't, man. I get exhausted just thinking about it. It doesn't make sense. When there's no music, okay, I understand you getting behind it, people pumping up whatever comes up because it's something to get excited about. But when you have good stuff, well, that's the stuff that should be, you know, promoted. That's the stuff that should be pushed. Not putting stuff on a countdown or blasting it all over social media like it's the next coming. And I'm like, no, dude, we're not talking about all the other good songs that came out this year. Yeah. Why aren't people begging, you know, Wendy to come out with something, you know, more? Or Elisa B. No, why is nobody bugging her to come out with her song?
I'm on my fucking knees right now. Please, Alyssa. Please, Wendy. I'm going to call Johnson Enriquez. I just spoke to MG a few minutes ago. I'm like, y'all need to come out with something new. Like, it's
let me tell you something. You know who needs to come out with something new? And her voice is absolutely insane. insane. And I never saw her perform live ever until like I guess a month and a half ago when I was in New York. Friggin' Niobe, that woman, let me tell you, unbelievable.
She still got it.
Freaking believable. Her voice is insane, hands down.
So, Santana Twins, please reach out to Niobe. Somebody, Carlos Barrios, Willie, Valentine, Jay Adams, somebody that can produce, please. I'll pay for it.
Oh, now you're going to get calls.
Right.
Now you're speaking the right language.
I hope that you can divide the payments into 7. The holidays are coming. So. Do you remember a bad show? Like you were the best part of the whole night? Like, did you ever perform at a show where it was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Oh, besides that rinky-dink place you were talking about that smelled like piss.
Nothing but the best for Artistik.
A bad show? Oh, no, not really a bad show, but I almost fell off the stage one time.
So you're saying you're clumsy is what you're saying?
No, I think you were there. That was the show that...
Maybe it's me. I make you slip and fall.
You're a jinx. No, I'm joking.
The common denominator is Jose.
Yeah. No, it was the show, and you know what? Wait a minute, where was it at? I think you were there. I think my dad was at that show.
Oh my God, poor guy.
I know, but the stage was shaped like picture like the letter T. So like the horizontal part was the back of the stage, and the other part, went out into the crowd. And I, for whatever reason, didn't realize I was in like the corner. And I almost like stepped on the people in the crowd.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my life flashed before my eyes. But no, as far as like a bad experience, like, I mean, other than like my favorite is when the promoters are like, oh, we didn't make enough at the door. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you made at the door. I'm going to be getting paid tonight. Thank you.
Not my problem.
Exactly. Like, we'll pay you when the show's over. No, you'll pay me before the show starts.
Yeah, or I'm going to burn the whole place down. I remember that.
Burn it to the... Oh, did I say that?
And I ended up paying you. I mean, you didn't have to take my mother hostage.
Oh, my God.
It's ironic that you and I thought about the same episode at my house, like one day apart. Because one day before, I was thinking about you falling down the steps and landing on your knees. And then the next day, you hit me up on Instagram. And remember that time where I'm like, damn, I was just thinking about the same incident. So,
yes. And do you remember she didn't have rubbing alcohol, so she had to clean me up with Bacardi?
There was plenty of that in the house.
What's going on in that house? You shouldn't have the good old-fashioned Vicks. It had to be Bacardi. Damn.
You know what? But you were a champ. You took that with no issue. They dropped it on your open wound, and you were like, yeah, whatever. Give me a drink.
And then I was like, do you have another pair of stockings? Do you remember that? I'm like, do you have any stockings?
My mom had everything.
Your mom's the best.
Actually, my favorite song, 99.5 with Niaja.
Oh, yeah. That's my girl.
That to me, when I heard you sing that, I'm like, damn, she was made to sing that song. Because, there's certain songs you shouldn't touch. We all know that. There's classics that you just, but when you sang it, I'm like, oh, god damn, do another one.
The crazy thing with 99.5 was for like a hot minute, me and Niaja both worked with Tasmania. And I had expressed an interest in wanting to do that song to Mike Ferrillo. And coincidentally, she had expressed the same interest, and that's how the song came about for us doing it together.
Subscribe to the Freestyle Club. On Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Stitcher. The Freestyle Club. The Freestyle Club. Let's talk freestyle.
Is there anything you want to touch on?
Just, the fact that I'm really appreciative that for all the years that I wasn't doing music, that the fans kept reaching out and expressing, a want for new music and always just saying such nice things. And, I put a lot of my life on social media, a lot of my personal life. And, as much as I appreciate everybody, staying in contact and wanting to hear new music, the fact that every one of the fans that I have that follow me have followed the journey of my son as well. And that to me, like, is priceless. Like, it's so awesome to be able to share my music first, and now I'm sharing his music and getting so much great feedback and so much love for him too. So that's just awesome. And, the fans are amazing. Without them, there'd be really no reason for me to do any more new music. And, I'm going to apologize for waiting so long to put something new out, but hopefully it was worth the wait and everybody loves it. And, thank you especially. I mean, we've been friends for so long, and you've always been so great, and always said such positive things and played my music. And like, I have to you have to take a lot of credit for my career, because you really paved the way for me. I mean, like I give you a lot of credit for so many people hearing my stuff, because you loved it and you played it, and that's how people heard it. So big thank yous to you.
Wendy, stop, because you get to leave, but I got to deal with him for the rest of the podcast. Thank you very much, Wendy. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right now, I'm extending my arms, and I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in front of the boat. King of the world!
Well, Wendy, on behalf of all freestyle fans, I accept the apology. But the way that you can make it up to us is to come up with some more music in 2018 and 2019. Then you made amends.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to play the out of your new song, If I Tell You. And if I tell you, I'm going to be playing it every week. I tell you, I'm going to be playing it every week.
Special shout out to the Santana Twins. Shout out to Cutting Records. Shout out to Freddie the Edit Rivera for the insane dub remix. I finally heard it, and it's awesome. And just want to shout out, say what's up to my kids, Jules and Jordan. I love you guys. And big shout out to my bestie, Marissa. That's like my sister, and she's been like she does hate your guts.
I know, she does hate my guts.
True story, and I'll make it real quick. The way that I met her back in the day, we looked so much alike back in the day that I would go places and they'd be like, "Oh, what's up, Riss?" And I'm thinking like, that's not my name. And she was getting the same thing. And we finally, at a show one time, we finally met, and we were like, "Oh my God, we do look alike." And we've been best friends ever since I was like 17.
This is Freestyle Club with your hosts, the unknown admin, Rafael Reyes, and CPR, Jose Ortiz.
So, Wendy, you talked about having new music and working with the Santana Twins and possibly having something else down the road. Are you going to be working with the Santana Twins again? Because you sound like you had a lot of fun working with them.
Absolutely. That was hands down one of the best recording experiences I ever had. We all get along great. The chemistry is great. Like, the creativity is insane. I'm a goofball, and they seem to not be bothered by how goofy I am when I'm there. So that's a good thing. But I like that they're so particular, and that's probably one, aside from loving their work, that's like one of the main reasons I would definitely keep working with them, because they're just particular, and it's not like, oh, that's good enough, let's move on to the next thing. They're as particular with the vocals as the singer is, and that to me was really important.
Now, did they feed you after you finished working? Because they keep putting out teasers that they starve their artists until they get it right. God.
Whenever I go to the studio, I bring snacks with me, but I bring enough for everybody. So I'm like a candy-aholic. I love like now and laters, and like, you know what I'm saying? So I brought all this shit to the studio, and they were like, "What?" And now, mind you, I had surgery last summer. I had weight loss surgery last summer. So the amount of food that I eat now is like so significantly smaller than the average human being eats. So the big joke was that they let me have 2 bugles while I was there.
Well, I hope to hear more from you, especially Santana Twins, because those guys are rocking it. I don't know where they find the time, but that's what freestyle needs, is good quality new releases right now. That in order for there to be a good 2019, 2020, and so on.
Absolutely. And you know what? And they're particular, and that's how more people need to be. They need to be particular with the artists they work with and what they put out. And everything that I've heard from them, I've been really happy with. The Cologne song, Mike Remio's song, like just really very, very happy with it. And then some stuff that they played for me from other artists that they've worked with, just I love all of it. Definitely my style.
This is the Freestyle Club. Pick hit of the week.
So my pick hit of the week is probably one of my favorite freestyle songs ever, and it's from my old label mate Marisol, and it's Beginning of the End.
Ralph, what is your pick of the week?
Normally, I don't do this because I don't like cheesing up to our guests, but I'm going to pick If I Tell You by Wendy.
You never walk out on me.
On our previous episode, we talked about Louis Marte and him being the only good song on a 17-song compilation, which is factual. One thing that I wanted to clear up was that the song was produced by Tanasi. The song was written by Louis Marte, and Louis Marte had a lot of input in the song to where he had creative control to get the quality to where it is to be the best song on the compilation. So congratulations going out to Louis Marte. He's my pick hit of the week with For All My Life.
Girl, every time you're near me, I can feel it. Every time we touch, I know it's right. Every time I hold you, can't deny it. I just wanna love you the rest of my life. Every time you're near me, I can feel it. Every time we touch, I know it's right. Every time I hold you, can't deny it. I just wanna love you for all of my life. Whoa.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us this week on the Freestyle Club. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook under my real name, Wendy Scanlon. They can find me on Instagram. It's mama_slush. And, for bookings or other, contact info, they can just, for right now, they can contact me through Facebook. In the process of acquiring new management and a booking agent, messaging me would be the best bet.
Subscribe to the Freestyle Club. Freestyle Club. On Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Stitcher. The Freestyle Club. The Freestyle Club. Let's talk freestyle.